Traders at Lusaka's Regional Trading Initiative have staged a protest citing harassment and poor management of the market. Among issues raised includes the abrupt increase in rentals, inadequate security personnel, and an imposed mandatory funeral policy for all traders. Oswald Kafanka has the details.
Confusion disturbed the flow of business at the Regional Trading Initiative in Lusaka, a market in Kamwala area meant to accommodate Zambian and foreign traders. Traders here complain of abrupt increase in rentals, lack of proper security, harassment from management, and are calling on government to intervene in these issues.
Management is using dictatorial tendencies to intimidate us. Whenever we want to raise voices on the issues of how they run the market, they intimidate us. Yes. We try to raise the intimidators. They are changing rentals. They increased late last year. This year, they have already notified us. At short notice, they are increasing again. And again, in this market, there are lease owners and those who are renting. Some of us are lease owners. We bought the shops. But still, they are charging us monthly as if we are renting. They are using people to harass us. They can't reason. Like this morning, we woke up, they did something, we went there to approach them, we want to complain. But other than meeting us, so that they hear from us, we were very peaceful. But they are there to intimidate us. For what? We have the right to be heard. We have the right to be treated equally as lease owners and even someone who is renting.
Because we are tired of being taken like kids. The point whereby the management, they make their own things without communicating with us. Like, let's talk of rentals up from nowhere. And then they expect us to do it. And then if you don't do it, they close your shop. Let's talk of security. There's no security. Our personal money, our lives are all in here, but there's no security. But all they do is request for us to pay money every month. And if you don't pay money in one day, they close your shop.
Then I'll tell this reporter that management have introduced a mandatory funeral policy among traders.
So recently we had a bereavement. We actually lost our colleague in regional trade village. So now the management has also decided to introduce a funeral policy which has just been imposed. You know what I mean? And we're looking at, they're saying we have to pay every month. And if you calculate, we have to pay a 50 kwacha monthly. And when you calculate that by, it's not making any sense. You can't just impose.
Meanwhile, management has refuted all claims from the traders and says all traders are given prior notice before any increment is made.
Because see, you find that when they are going land to contribute, maybe they will pay just 100 kwacha, which is better. Before that, there was a funeral here. One person died. About 3 individuals who created groups to contribute money. They contributed a lot of money, and they had to go away with that people's money without accountability. That's why he said, let's contribute, let's make something that is attainable, that you can check, that is accountable. That's why this policy has come.
Is it mandatory for the traders to contribute?
Well, what we've done, you see, we've said let it be mandatory. Why? Because, see, this is going to help them. Because whenever there's a funeral, we don't say mandatory. We find that management will get money and spend the money, which is better. If one doesn't want...
First of all, I want to appreciate the traders, those that are trading in the regional trading village. This is a market which is just near downtown. I want to appreciate you for having brought your concerns to me as your area councillor, and I want you to know that this matter, your complaints against this man, this dictator who calls himself the head of the management there at Regional Trading Village, Mr. Mwambazi, we have taken note, and those are very serious complaints, because what he's doing to you, the way he's harassing you, the way he's abusing you, the way he's threatening you, and the way he's treating you, that amounts to Caderism. And we are going to take it very seriously. Even your letters which you addressed to the town clerk at Lusaka City Council, and even the one which you took to the Minister of Local Government, they are going to be followed up, and I can assure you that they are going to be acted on, because this government came on the platform of zero tolerance towards Caderism. Even the president himself is very big on Caderism, and he has said he does not want to see any Caderism existing anywhere, because he values the peace and the the sovereignty of the Zambian people. We respect that very much. Now, for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about the issue of Caderism. And Caderism, as much as it has been fought, as much as we are trying to stamp it out, there are still some stubborn individuals who insist on carrying out Caderism by other means. There is this man called Mr. Mwambazi. And Mr. Mwambazi, if you are listening, I've been trying to call you since morning, because before I take any action, I must give you an opportunity to exculpate yourself, to explain why you are now coming up with all these kind of draconian measures to harass marketeers. First things that you must know, and I also want you, the traders at the regional village, to know this. I will call it a market for people to easily understand. It's a market at downtown. Yeah, that's a market. Mr. Mwambazi, first of all, the land on which your so-called market, which you are treating as a private property, where it is built, that is not your land. That is Zambia Railways land. And I don't know if you've got a lease for that or you do not have a lease. But what you have to know is that is your land. When your tenure ends, whatever your tenure is, I don't know if you have got how many years you have. When your tenure ends, I'll be the first person to recommend that that tenure should not be extended. In fact, what I will push for is that tenure to be immediately terminated, because the interest of marketeers come first. Now, I also want to educate you, Mwambazi, in case you do not know. There is what we call the Bus and Market Stations Act of 2007. Schedule 7 of the Markets and Bus Station Act states that all markets and bus stations, whether you built it yourself or not, as long as it is a public market and a bus station, it will be run by the council or the local authority in which it is situated. All the markets in Lusaka, whether they are cooperative, whether they are council has a hand in their running, and they subscribe to the Market and Bus Stations Act. So, Mr. Mwambazi, there you feel to say that is your place, you built the shop, of course, which is not true, because we know that you got money from most of these people who you gave a 10-year lease or a 10-year rent. And now, you are now even increasing rentals anyhow, so that you chase them from there. That market where you are, it is not regulated by the council. And it will soon be regulated, because we have seen to say that that market where you call it a regional trading village, that market, if the council does not step in, if the local authority does not step in, a lot of people are going to suffer. And we have seen from the clip that Mr. Mwambazi, you do not mean well. Mr. Mwambazi, you are behaving like a small god in that market. And we are going to realign you and bring you in line with the Market and Bus Stations Act of 2007. The council is going to move in, and we are going to scrutinize all your papers to ensure to say that they are intact. If they are not intact, it will be very good for us, because then we can easily discipline you. The interests, the interests of those marketeers, the interests of the traders who are there must come first. You are going to be governed accordingly. Furthermore, this man called Mr. Mwambazi, he is not a law-abiding citizen. You have recruited junkies from the compounds who you call security. These junkies who you call security are now every day harassing traders there. Apart from you and your schemes of increasing rentals anyhow, what you have done furthermore is now you are compelling people to say they have to pay funeral, a so-called funeral contribution. Under what authority do you have? Because when your market, and it is going to be under the council, when it comes to the council, there is going to be what we call a market committee, market advisory committee. You are not going to appoint that market advisory committee yourself. The traders there in that market are going to have a democratic election, which is going to be held transparently with council officials there. The council is going to move in, they will collect levies. You are only going to be in charge of getting monies. You as management, you only be getting monies for West, for West, and maybe other and security. It ends there. But the junkies that you have brought, those you cannot call them security. Those are the people that are stealing from the same traders who are paying to you, and we are not going to allow that. There is nowhere in the law where you are allowed to come up with all kinds of fees in order to increase rentals and chuck out people just like that. These are Zambian citizens. You are not going to treat them like small children. You are not going to treat them like lesser human beings. And you owe a lot of people, man. The reports keep coming. You owe a lot of people money. You are owing a lot of people money. Eh? You even have Ngongole to soldiers. Eh? Soldiers bought shops in that area. Eh? A so-called lease for 10 years. They gave you money. Up to now, some of those soldiers, they almost beat you up. They came there. They almost beat you up. So what kind of a person are you? Eh? Even soldiers are up in arms against you. It's only that they respect their uniform. That's why they don't want to nyoesha you. Otherwise, you'd have been rolling in the mud by now, Mr. Mwambazi. But I want to assure also the traders that you have every right to complain to the government. Your first starting point, of course, you were very correct. You complain to the local authority, and I'll be in talks with the town clerk to ensure to say that that matter is brought before the relevant committee, the housing committee, so that that market is brought into line. Even in so-called cooperative markets, they do not operate autonomously. There is a partnership between the council and the cooperatives, so that sanity reigns. Just like the sanity has reigned at Comesa, that is how it's going to reign at downtown. We know you have done a lot of illegal things. Mr. Mwambazi, you've gone further. Actually, that land where your shops are built, that land, you grabbed it. You used political means during the PF to grab that land from the owners of downtown, the Lebanese. They took you to court and they won, but because you had political connections, you thought you were smart and you thought you were clever and you thought you'd be there forever. Now you don't have those political connections. Now there's nothing like political connections. The law will deal with you fairly and squarely. And I'm encouraging the owners of downtown, if you're listening to this, start making arrangements to claim that place. Let us know what really transpired. How did he get that place away from you? Because you were the leaseholders. You were the initial leaseholders. Furthermore, Mr. Mwambazi, I want to warn and caution you. You want to disturb the peace of Lusaka by starting to build at an area near the Universal Church. You are building a building on a place where you're not supposed to build. A place where 11 kV cables pass. I'm sure most of you who pass around Kafio roundabout, you've seen that area near the flyover bridge, between the flyover bridge and the Universal Church. It is vacant. It's not because there is nothing there. There are critical installations which pass underground. And you, Mr. Mwambazi, you want to start building. I don't want you building, if you're building a market or whatever, you are going to be followed on that one. Mark my words. Before this week is over or early next week, you will be followed to exculpate yourself. Why you want to endanger the government of the Republic of Zambia? Because that power line goes straight to government complex, where ministries are sitting. Then you want to start building your building on top of 11 kVs so that you can shut down government business. We are not going to tolerate that, and we are not going to let you off the hook so easily. The issues are many, but you will be summoned, you will be caught. And I want to assure the traders at the regional trading village to say, if you've had your shop locked or you've been mistreated in any way, don't hesitate. Come to the civic center very quickly, to the office of the town clerk, and let us know what this man, this cadre called Mwambazi, how he's harassing you. We are not going to shield any Caderism, any behavior that is violent, any behavior that tries to disturb the harmony in markets. That market will be brought under the control, as per Markets and Bus Stations Act, is going to be brought under the control of the council. So, thank you very much for those of you that took time to raise this issue with me. I'm very passionate to ensure to say that you continue to operate there. You shouldn't be harassed. Rentals shouldn't be increased anyhow. Nobody must start swindling money from you in your pocket in the name of funeral contribution. No, it is not your issue. It's the issue for the traders and the marketeers. If they want to contribute for a funeral, it is not your issue. The laws and the regulations which you have broken, Mr. Mwambazi, are so many I can't even mention them here. But you will be followed up and you'll be